All right, guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Unconventional Mindset. My name is Odum, and of course, right here, what we do is we get together every day, Monday through Friday, and we live stream, and we just get to work on building ourselves a business, which is going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. That's what we're working towards, and of course, we are building Pixel Pixel pieces, where we are making Webflow components, and we're going to jump right in to this today, where we've been building components, and we're going to be focusing our attention in the coming weeks on building more and more components, as well as doing a lot of social media marketing and all that fun stuff. But what I thought we would do today is kind of consolidate all of our, just trying to make things go as smoothly as possible, from going from coming up with an idea for a component to designing it in Figma and then building it in Webflow and then releasing it. And there's a bunch of steps that need to go into doing that. And we want to make sure everything is smooth and consistent across every single component that we do, that we build. Leo, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. How you doing today? Hope everything is going well. So the one thing that I remember doing, or well, you guys probably remember as well, is that I was whenever I'd build the component in Webflow. Let me just bring up Webflow here for a second. Where are we? So here's this component here in Webflow, and I was basically just taking a screenshot of this here in Webflow and then using that as the actual. Let's just go to Pixel Pieces. Using it as a screenshot you'd see here when you kind of just log in, which is okay, kind of an okay way of doing it. But one thing that was recommended, I think Sam was recommending this, and it makes total sense, is number one, we could use Figma to just design the actual components, but then we can use them for the screenshots as well too, which I think will make for a much cleaner picture and image, and we can have much more consistency in being able to control the exact size of the image. Okay, it's good to hear you're doing good. And for me, yeah, I'm doing good. Can't complain. Still plugging away. And yeah, just really busy behind the scenes doing work for getting all of our videos ready for all the social media stuff that we're going to be doing. So doing lots of work for that. So it's pretty exciting. I don't know, pretty exciting for me. Okay, so right. So what I've done here is I've kind of started this, and I'm not sure exactly how this should work or how this should be, because I'm definitely not a Figma expert. But we have these text styles here. I have ones for heading, and I have something for body here as well too. I don't know how many more we need, but we'll add them as we go. But what I've done as well on these styles is I've created local variables. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how this should go. So we have two local variables. We have one for colors, where we have our primary colors, secondary colors, we have our neutral colors, and we have your utility. And this, of course, mirrors what we have in the style guide as well too. That if you download and use, you can check that out. It's the same. And then we have this other one here for typography, where we have the font family for the heading, and then for the body, as they're different, and that's different in the component library as well too. And we have something for fonts, which is this one's, we're not really going to be changing these, but I guess it's kind of good to keep it consistent, I guess, which we could use in the various textiles. So we have font weight from 100 to 900. We have font size from extra small to extra huge. And then we have the line heights as well too. And then we have a layout here of container for at 1,000 pixels. And where I'm using that is I'm thinking of wrapping every single component that we do in this frame that has a fixed width of 1,000 units. So that'll make sure everything is consistent. So I'm not 100% sure if that's the exact way that I want to do it. Maybe I'll make it larger or smaller, but it's there for now. And then if we want to change it, we can just change it in one spot, and then I'll update for everyone, right? So because if you look at here, this variable is like this container, and then that could change as well too if I just go ahead and change the container. Like if I go back here, change this container, and say I put it at 1,400, that'll change it. Close that. That'll change it here, as you can see. Now it's 1,400. And then of course I've only done it for layer 1, but all the layers are going to have the exact same variables applied to it. So let's just go back and change that. Actually, we need to go back here to local variables to without. And if there's anything that I need to add in the future, we'll just add as we go. But I think this is a pretty good starting point for what we want. Okay. And then, for example, so here's layout 1. And what we're going to do, if we go to this layout here, let's export this. What type of image is going to give us the clearest image? I mean, can we export it as a SVG? I wonder if that's going to be the best thing for us. Or if we should export it as an image. Well, let's export it as an image right now, and let's see what we get. So let's export that. Let's just throw it on the desktop. Layout 1. And if we go back to, here, I think, yeah, here's our actual application here in Webflow. So let's go to components, and we're looking at layout 1. So if we replace this image, let's replace it with layout 1. It's 57 kilobytes, so it's pretty small. So that's pretty good. It's a different size, but that's okay. Let's see what happens. And if we go here, and if we go to our, let's see, component categories, and let's go to the category layout. So here's this image here of this layout. I think that looks much cleaner than this. Like if you look at the difference between this one and this one, the size, of course, is a little bit different. It's a little bit higher, but that's okay. We could definitely mess around with that. I think I like that. That looks pretty clean, actually. So I like it that it's not so far off to, like, there's much more clear defined margins on the sides. So that looks good. This will give us consistency across everything that we do. I like it. Okay, so let's stick with that, and let's just see what we can do to apply these on all these other different layouts that we have. So we need to go in here on this layout 2, and let's apply, I think this is a heading 2 text style. So I think if we click these style buttons, yeah, and we can apply this H2, and that just kind of applies it right there, which is kind of nice. Kevin, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Congrats on the 500. Yeah, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Yeah, a little bit of a long way to get there, but onwards to 1,000. I guess that'll be the next goal that we're gonna hit. At least hope to hit it. Anyways. So, all right. This looks a little bit different. So this is an H1. I put this as an H1. What do we have it here actually in this component? We have this as an H2 heading, right? Because it is layout, so chances are it's going to be H2. So let's change this to an H2 heading. Okay. Kevin, I know you're a lot better at Figma than I am. Are you able in a text style to add a specific color to it? Like, can you match like the font size and the font, the line heights and all that stuff? Can you match that with a color? So that way, if I have an H2 style and I want to apply a color of blue to every single one of them, can I do that? Because right now, the way it is, you know, there's this H2 style here. If I want to give it a color of this color, whatever, it doesn't roll over for all the H2s I have in my design file. I would love to be able to do that, and I haven't been able to find a way to do that, or if that's even, you know, if that's possible. So, yeah, I want to know if I could do that, which would be really, really nice. There's one, yeah. And I wonder if we want to put the width of these sections of like a 2 column, if we want to set the width of those in a variable. I wonder if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is, so we have our local variables. We have one for layout. If we want to create a new one here, just duplicate that one. Let's just call it 2 column. Just the 2 column width. And I think we set it to 450. So if we have this guy here, yeah. So if we apply a variable and we'll set it to 2 column. And this one as well too. We want to, this is a, perfect. And if we go here, let's close this one. If we go to this content piece, we're going to do the same thing here. And then same thing here. But we need to lock it. We should have. Okay, we should have. I think we need to lock it, then change it. 2 column. Oh, what? Is that unlocked or locked? Constrained proportions. Well, that's weird. This one's constrained. What is going on? Lock it. Oh, okay. Hang on. Well, that's weird. Oh, because it's not the same right now. All right. Okay, hang on. So make them the same, and now we constrain the proportions. Now if we change this one to 2 column, whoops. Ah, what the hell? This makes no sense to me. Weird, very weird. All right, and this guy here, we need to apply the variable, and that's the container width. And this, yeah, okay. All right. So I think that's good, yeah. So because we have this style here, and that's just your typical body. And what is this here? These are bullets. These are done a little bit differently. Yeah, I think here we want to have the bullets to be our secondary color. Yeah. All right. So this might be a little bit boring today because I'm just basically going over all the layouts that we've already done and just kind of converting them. But maybe what I can do, maybe what we'll do just to make it a little bit more interesting today is I'll just start making like more layout sections, and then we can worry, and then I'll just behind the scenes do like update the existing layout so I can, you know, create these screenshots, right? So yeah. So we can do that. All right, so I'm gonna take this layout. Yeah, why don't we do that? And why don't we see what we can come up with for some new layouts? Because we need to make some new layouts anyways. So if we copy and paste that, put this, but I think we're actually at layout. I think we're at layout 24. Oh, geez, what are we at? Let's go here. We have layout 24, layout 25, yeah. I think the answer to your question lies somewhere around tokens and variables, but we'll have to look a little further. Tokens and variables, eh? Creating variables, blah, blah, blah. Figma's version of design tokens. Using theme features. So this looks like this is a plugin. Collection colors. Okay. Gradients, typography, shadows. This just looks like if you're creating a different version of the variables. Oh, let's continue. Okay, I can't. It's paywall. It's not even paywall. It's like you gotta sign in. Okay, well, forget that. I guess I'm not reading that. What's this
Previously in our Intro to Design Systems course, we followed Kai, a product designer at the habit-forming app called Habits, on their journey to building their first design system in Figma. Since implementing their design system, the Habits team has seen more consistency in designs and no longer debates endlessly over which standards to use. However, the Habits app is evolving and growing. After discovering that their users track their habits before bed, the team wants to add a dark theme to ease tired eyes. While the spatial system has sped up the design process and solved alignment issues, the team struggles to keep track of which border radius and spacing values to use. This has led to an unpredictable and inconsistent user experience. And the benefits of design tokens are very similar to that of design systems. They're a source of truth that maintains consistency between design and code. They improve management of a scaling design system, and they remove the guesswork when building products and help you build more efficiently. But what exactly are design tokens? How might this help the Habits team? Design tokens are a method for managing design properties and values across a design system. Each token stores a piece of information, such as color, sizing, spacing, font, animations, and so on. To make them easier to refer to, each token also gets a name. The tokens can be reused across your designs and become a source of truth and shared language between design and code. For example, Kai recently handed a design file to a developer that contained spacing values of 25 points. However, the Habits codebase uses an 8-point spatial system. The developer assumed this was intentional and updated the codebase with the new designs. Oops! Kai actually meant to have spacing values of 24 points, but their file was set up incorrectly. If the team used tokens, the design file would have included information on which spacing token to use. The spacing token would point to a value that's already confirmed to be correct, preventing errors and ambiguity. In addition to having a reliable source of truth, using tokens means that updating our designs and design system becomes faster and more efficient. For example, say the Habits team has this color token being used in different areas of the product. If they change the value of this color token, then every asset using the token will change too. This can be useful, like when changing a color system for a product rebrand. However, what if they only wanted the values of some assets to change? Currently, they'd have to remap these values one by one to a different token. This isn't a problem if only a few assets need updating, but if many assets had to be updated, the Habits team would need a lot more time and resources. This is where aliasing comes in. Aliasing allows any token to reference or take on the value of another token. If a token changes, then any token referencing it will update as well. But how does this solve the Habits team problem? Well, aliasing lets you neatly organize tokens into categories, subcategories, and so on. The categories communicate how a token is used.
Wow, this can get pretty confusing pretty quickly.
Be able to quickly update any category,
but pretty powerful.
All associated tokens downstream would get updated without unintentionally affecting others. There's no limit to how far a series of token references can go, and no limit to how many times a single token can be referenced, allowing us to create complex design token structures. Keep in mind, aliasing isn't always necessary, especially for assets like fonts and animations.
Okay.
Now that we've gotten a better grasp on design tokens, let's check back in with the Habits team. They decided to set up both semantic and component-specific tokens on the same level. Since their design system already lives in Figma, they can use two key Figma features to implement their tokens: styles and variables. Before we continue, check out our resources on styles and variables to get an understanding of how they work. You might be wondering, why should the Habits team use both styles and variables? Variables can support complex token structures because they can be used to define other variables and styles. They can also support multiple modes for theming, scoping for specifically where a variable can be used, and code syntax for a better handoff experience. Meanwhile, styles can support color gradients and composite values, like multiple fills or multiple shadow effects. For many, implementing design tokens means a combination of styles and variables. To get more insight on the difference between styles and variables, check out the article linked below. Kai is interested in diving into migrating colors first. If you followed along in Lesson 3, you'll know that the Habits app color system is connected to color styles, each organized by their purpose or usage. The Habits team decided to migrate all of their color styles to variables except for one gradient, which will keep as a style since variables can't capture gradients. They create a new variables collection called primitives for their primitive tokens, and copy each color value over.
Okay, that's fine. We already
Each
have
color
that.
variable is organized by their base color. Within each base color, a ramp is created based on their tint and shade using a numbering system. The more white a base color contains, the lower its number. The more black it contains, the higher the number. Tip: to prevent primitive tokens from being used directly in designs, you can scope and hide them from getting published to team libraries. From the primitives collection, select all the variables, right-click, the hide from publishing variables collection called tokens, for their semantic and component-specific tokens. The team conducted an audit to document every color used in the product and identified a few areas that use color: surface, button, text, border, and icon. Within each area, they further identified color categories like brand, toast, user colors, and more. From there, they established tokens within each category and gave them names that communicate how or where the color can be used. For example, a semantic token might include the word primary to communicate its use on the most common elements or actions on a page. Secondary, on the other hand, are for less common elements. After creating these tokens, they organize them into variable groups based on their categories and apply them to their designs. Now that our color primitives and semantic tokens are set up, how might they approach dark mode? Remember that every semantic and component-specific token is assigned a job and communicates a function. To add a dark mode or any other theme, you need to create a separate set of tokens that mirrors the existing tokens. Within the set, they can change any aliases or references as needed by connecting them to different tokens. In Figma Design, the Habits team is able to account for a dark mode theme through variable modes. They create a new mode in the tokens collection and update references to variables in the primitives collection as needed. And that's it. No need to change the names of tokens since they already communicate information on how and where they're used. Changing a design to dark mode can be quickly done from the right side bar. The Habits team is all done setting up their color tokens, so they tackle their spatial system using number variables next. We covered...
That still doesn't say anything about how to actually create or how to assign those variables or those tokens to text. Well, hang on. So if I'm understanding this correctly, so if we go to variables here, and let's say we wanted to create a new collection, whatever, we just call it tokens, right? And we're going to create that variable where, I guess this is going to be a string, or is it just going to be like a color? So we have it where, what did we say? Something like, or what could, how did he call them? I don't know, with something, you know, like primary and, no, not primary. I'm trying to think of like text color. I'm not sure. Okay, hang on. Let's see what he did here again, just to...
hand are for less common elements. After creating these tokens, they organize them
too
into a
fast.
variable group to communicate its use on and more. From there, tokens for their semantic and component-specific tokens. The team conducted an audit to document every example. A semantic token might include the word primary to communicate its use on the most common elements or actions on a page. Secondary, on the other hand, them into variable groups.
Okay, surface, user, text. Interesting. So if we did something like, if we did, okay, so edit variable, we'll do this like text primary as an example. And then we're going to give it a value of, and I think we can go into this other variable, right? No, we want to give it, how do we, give it an actual create alias? Oh, right. For primary, say 700. Right, there we go. So we have that. So if can we go to this And we could apply a variable to this. And maybe we can apply. It's not allowing us to select that color. If we go, let's go here for a second. Yeah, I don't see where we can add the color to this. Variable. There's gotta be a way. Like this doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me, because if you want to update all the colors of your paragraph, there's got to be a way to doing it. You know, of all your text, there's got to be a way. Right, like we have all this here. That's the text style. Yeah. Decorative case, vertical trim, list spacing, letter case numbers, letter forms. I don't know what this stylistic set means. I'm not sure what that's doing. A variable, just the width and the weight. That's fine. It's just weird to me. It's very weird to me. All right, so I'm on this heading. I mean, I can fill it here with a token. I mean, maybe this is how you have to do it. Yeah, maybe this is how you do it. So you have to do it maybe in two spots. So if I change the token for this, instead of just having it a fill of this color, instead I give it a variable of this token, and that's like my text primary. That's probably how we have to do it. And then if I go into my local variables and I want to change the text primary, and then if I change this to black, that should change everything. Yeah, okay. So we have to do it in two spots. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. I think that's right. If that looks right, guys, let me know. But that should be it. You just can't do it in... That's too bad. You just can't do it in the actual like text style. I think that's the right... Yeah, the text style. Because I guess that's not part of a text style. Because if you go into a text element, that I think what's in this little square. Sorry, I know this is really small where my mouse is. That's the style. Then this is the fill, the stroke effect. Those are like separate things. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so let's then. So what styles do we need then for this? So text primary. What do we do? Well, let's see if we can mirror what we have in our style guide first of all. So I think we have text primary, secondary, and text heading. So we have those three styles. So we can make those ones. And I don't think we need anything. Oh, and I think, I know, I want another one too. All right. So, shoot, what were they called again? Text primary, secondary, and then heading. Right. You group variables in Figma the same way you group them in Webflow. Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing, right? I think I'm doing them correctly. Text secondary. And secondary is going to be neutral 500. And text primary, secondary, or is 700. And duplicate this one. And this is headings. We're going to make this 900. And we're going to do another one. Oh, no. Duplicate. We're going to call this, give one for the eyebrow as well too, because that should have a color. And what color should we give it? I guess we're giving it 700 primary. Okay. Right. Yeah, you do. You definitely group them too. Like I think when you're saying you put slashes and stuff like that in order to be able to group them here on the side, which is really nice. But what's nicer in Figma is that you can actually rearrange them, whereas in Webflow you can't, which is really, really frustrating. Okay. All right. So now I think we're onto something. So if we go into this text here, which is the body, but we also want to fill it with, I guess it's primary, right? And then the heading, we want to fill that with our heading. And then the eyebrow, I think we can even just type it in, which is eyebrow. And yeah, there we go. Then we can make it consistent. And then when we start cutting and pasting and copying these components or these little sections of components, then everything will be aligned nicely, which is really, really cool, which I like. So let's go back to this one here. Where's this one? We don't have a name for it yet. Let's delete that one. And let's go here. And let's copy this one and paste. And I think we're at 24. All right. So what can we do? I wonder, now that I'm thinking about this too, is I haven't given much thought into different layouts that we can do here. I wonder if I should take some more time and do some sketching or what I should work on right now. All right, well, let's have a quick look and see if we can come up with any low-hanging fruit in terms of sections that we can create. So if we go here and let's look at our layout sections, we can see what already exists. One thing that we don't have is we don't have oh, there's a bug here. What's going on with this? Oh, maybe it's because I have this edit site button. This dashboard aside thing this is supposed to be stuck to the bottom, but I think because there's this edit button here, let me see. What is this thing? Let's just display none for a second. No, we're still having issues. What is going on here? Slight little bug to fix for next time. Okay. We don't, oh, right, what was I saying? We don't have any 4-column layouts. So I think that's going to be something that people are going to want. I've done 4 columns. It's rare, but you do see, especially if you go into wider screens. But then again, this is a component that we're doing to start. Like it's going to be 4, what am I looking for? It's going to be 4 columns at the main size of, oh my goodness, the main breakpoint size. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so And then how are we going to make this look if it's a 4-column? If we're going to keep it this wide or this narrow at 1,000 pixels, because that's pretty small for 4 columns. But let's see what we can do here. We can take this layout, let's put it down like so, and let's give it a width. Oh, this is the whole layout of 1. All right, hang on. Let's rename this layout 24. Let's go back here actually. This one here, we want to put that in a group. This is, that's just going to be a column. And we're actually going to take the text of this and we're going to shove it in here. All right. But this column, let's give it, we actually want to have it a width of maybe something like 200. And I think, geez. Let's break this. Yeah. Hang on. Let's go into our variables here just for a moment. Let's go back to our. Actually, this is typography. This should be a new. I got to put this in a whole new area actually, but we'll keep it here for now. Duplicate. Let's go 3-column. And we'll have that at 300. And duplicate. 4-column. And about 225. Okay. So we go here, and we're going to want that to be 4-column. And this here, I think we just want this to fill. Whoops. Unlink that. Let's say small heading. And oops. And this button group, what can we do with this one? I guess we can align it like this, but I think we can also, oops. I think it's in here. We want to center things. Yeah. There's this other internal line here. Yeah, this one's smaller. Oh, this says 200. This one we need to apply the 4-column. And this one just needs to be filled. Whoops. Like such. Okay. All right. Getting the hang of Figma. Getting the hang of it. Okay, now we need a smaller text. And I wonder if we can design these things as like little, like smaller little images. Like if someone's going to put, you know, like make something completely circular and make it like a little avatar thing. Or if we just, I think if we just have it here as the idea of it's just going to be an image and you can kind of put whatever you want in there, I feel like that's enough. But I know in the videos that I'm making now, there's going to be lots of walkthrough with that to say like, hey, listen, if you're going to be putting together a website using these components, here's how you can think of utilizing the components and analyzing what your design is and how you can pick the components that you need to get the job done. So one of the videos that I'm working on right now is I'm basically taking a design, a pre-built or like a pre-designed like website, whether it's in Figma or whatever, it doesn't matter, but something that's already designed and saying like, here's how you can use pixel pieces to like quickly build a website in like an hour or whatever the case may be, right? So I'm working on that video too. So when I have this whole image placeholder, it's like it could be a big image, it could be a small image, you know, it could be like a little icon for like, you know, a feature section. It's really dependent on what you want and what you're trying to build, right? So sorry, just got a stupid text message. Okay. And all right. And I think actually, let's go here. Let's left align this content. And if we have this, I wonder if we just make this a little bit smaller. Right, so if we take that and if we copy these four, and what we can do is this layout is fixed, but we want to space it. Okay, so now we're seeing how close these things are. Maybe what we can do is we can take a look at these variables again. This is actually really handy. And if we go to our for column and we just make it 200, whoops. So the spacing is good, but now the text here is a little bit too much. So I think if we just say small heading, I think that'll be enough. Yeah, so this is actually going to be really, really good. So now if we have something like this, we'll take the picture and then we can take the picture and use it as a screenshot for the actual components. We just got to make sure that we design it to look the same. What is... And I still have these as H2 actually. So let's make this... I didn't change it to H3, which I thought I did. There we go. That makes it look much better. All right. So that's layout 24. And then if we copy this one again, what are the differences we can do with this one? So we can take each one of these columns. Actually, I don't think this column, no. We need to actually align things within the content. In fact, I'm not sure why I have two of them. I don't think we need like all of this stuff in these different layouts. I think this is redundant. Like if we took everything out of this content, yeah, I think we'd be just fine. But anyways, let's keep it in for now. So if we center that, which is good, but we also want to center the text. So, do we actually have to click on the text itself? Oh, this heading Yeah, that doesn't align it. So how? Oh, it's the text itself, right? That needs to be centered. It's too bad there's not an easier way to do that. To do this. Center. And this one. Center. And select the paragraph here. Click, 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 and then center. All right. Same layout, just centered. Right. I like it. Is this too cheesy, guys, in terms of creating multiple layouts and multiple different components? And what I mean by that is, again, they're very similar, but is it worth making them to be different components? Again, I guess I'm thinking so, especially with the video that I'm making, is if you go into the components and you can search, and we need to add search and filter functionality within Pixel Pieces as well too, especially once we start getting more and more components. Having a component that is as close as possible to what you want, it's pretty good. But it's also pretty quickly to take a component and copy it from Webflow and just delete something. So much easier to delete than it is to add something. So, but that being said, we can have lots of different variability. Okay, Kevin, I know you love it. So, and you were saying that, and that it makes a lot of sense to me. So, but all that being said, let's go here. We're going to make another one here. But this time we're going to alter it a little bit. And this is almost like a component that just has kind of everything down here. But this time we just want it to have a single button. And can we get, I'm sure there's a place that has less text. Let's try something like this. And I think what I'm going to want to do is find, whoops, what just happened? Find a bunch of different smaller quotes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Copy. And paste. So you can think of this component as somebody, putting a little icon at the top or just whatever image or what have you, and there's a little heading and then a little bit of text, and like that's it. And then like a call to action. And then, oops. Then if we take that and make 4 of them, that's this component here. I would think a change of title below image would be a useful variant instead of left aligned versus center aligned. Change of title below image. Oh, right. I see what you're saying. instead of the difference between left aligned and center aligned. Right. Well, see, one thing that I'm going to do. Okay, let's make that. One thing that I'm going to have on Pixel Pieces is to be able to filter out between text that is left aligned versus text that is center aligned. Just because I know when I'm building websites, especially when you're doing like little featured sections, sometimes you want the text to be centered, sometimes you want it to be left. So to be able to just quickly filter through that, I think it's gonna be really nice. Yeah, you like it? Cool. Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm pumped too. And it goes to what Rolanda was talking about yesterday about, I need to really get myself out there and I really need to focus on social media, which is 100% true. But there's a few things that I know that I need to do in the product to have it be where I want it to be. But that coincides with all the stuff that I'm working on right now for social media to be able to promote it out there. Because I want to showcase, to the world or whatever. I just want to put it out there of how I use Pixel Pieces to build websites, and just getting everything to the point where I know it's going to be like I could just use it and not have to worry about any bugs or anything like that. That's going to be the time where I'm going to be super, super confident in going out and just kind of releasing it to everyone. Yeah. But in the meantime, I think I still need to start engaging in social media and start, just talking to people on Twitter and talking to people on Discord as well too. Right, I think a change of title below image would be a useful variant instead of left line versus center. Okay. So even just changing the title. So this one is a change in title. So I wonder, so we can have, so there's this one here. So layout 24 and 26, they're very similar, but I wonder if if we go here, let's go paste this one. So we got layout 27. So if we're going to take this, where are we? All right, hang on a second. Let's delete a few things here. All right. So if we bring this below here, and then we have the image on top. Yeah, it is a different component, but is it? Yeah, again, I got to get out of my head. Because to me, I'm thinking, okay, well, here's this one. All I need to do is flip the image over. But not a more cynical person, but if I'm perusing the whole library of components and I'm just looking for something with the image over top, and then I peruse and I see this, they might not jump in my head of I'm going to use that component because the image is where I want it to be in the heading. So because right now you can just take it and you can swap it, but that's again an extra step for the customer. So yeah, so just flipping it up like this, even just having that quick change, and again, you have the heading and then the text or whatever. I think that works. Actually, we should call this layout 28 because this one I want to double. Actually, you know what? We should go 24, 25. This one should be 26. You're going to be 26, 7, and then this one that's 26, you're going to be actually 28. And you're going to 26. And Right, okay, so we have this at 26. Okay, you need to move you. How do we? Come on. There we go. There's no set width between these two. Right. Now if I just take I just want to test this thing real quick. So if I go to, let's go to our tokens. And if I say, you know what, I want those eyebrows to be yellow. Yeah, and then it just changes them all. Okay, this is awesome. This is awesome. Okay, let's undo that. I don't want it yellow, but if I did, that's how I would do it. And then this is how I would change the text, I guess, too, of all these paragraphs, right? And headings, as long as I actually assign them to the right token. Okay, good. Okay, so where were we? Layout 25. 24, 25, 26. Right, we need to copy this one now. But you are now layout 27. And what we want is can we open all this? Oh, wait, I got to open everything up first. Open, okay. Open, click. And center line all of that. And then in the content section, gotta do that for all of them, we need to center align the layout. Okay. Perfect. Now for this one, I think we want to make this one maybe a little bit more simple, because this is very 28 and 27 or 26. They're very similar. So, I mean, how should we simplify them? I think maybe what we can do, well, first things first, let's just delete the extra ones. Let's zoom in here. Because we really want to simplify it. If we remove the eyebrow and we just have the heading. And we have a really small text. And then yeah. Probably remove it from here. I actually don't like this spacing here. What can we do about this spacing? think because on these text, what elements or whatever, it doesn't, I don't know, the way that it measures this element, there's all that extra white space, which makes it so when this text is leaning up against this guy, yeah, it has the same spacing here, but the spacing is relative to the top of the element, not the top of the actual text. So we can't do it individually. So I think we're going to have to take this. If we even just pull this out completely, actually keep this in the content, take this column here, and we put it down. Okay, now everything's all messed up. What happened here? Oh, that's weird. How did that happen? Oh, something happened to this. What? Huh. What happened? This is fixed. We don't want it to be fixed. Right, how did this get fixed? Just hug the contents. That's hug as well too. This is not fixed. Okay, weird. All right, so, right, getting back into it. Take the button out. Put it here in the middle. All right, so now we can update this. Maybe 16. And then in our content, then we can have this. Right, and let's. Yeah, that looks much better. Yeah, much better. Okay, great. So although I don't know why it has a fixed height. Not sure where that's coming from. Okay, are these ones all centered? I haven't checked if they were all centered. So that's layout 28. And paste for 29. Oh, I gotta remember to rename everything properly. And then the difference here, basically want to center align things. We're still gonna have issues. Just delete these here for a second. Oh, that's also not gonna work. All right, I guess it's gonna have to be on the text itself. There we go. 2, 3. There we go. Okay, so that's good. So we can keep plugging away at that, creating our components. It's really quite nice. And then we could do the same thing. I mean, we have some 3-column stuff. I think there's even more things that we should do here for, yeah, 3 columns, because there's 3 columns here and none of these have any buttons. So I'm missing lots of different layouts here. So, but anyways, the title of today's episode really is about the design system. So it's looking pretty good. Is there anything that I need to change? I think what we can do is we can also, I think we can create some other text styles, because we have this default here, which has a font family, weight, and size set. But I think we can we duplicate? I guess we gotta make it here. I think it's text. So this one would be body slash, I guess we can just say small. And that font is going to be the body font. And this is the font weight. It's going to be 400. And then the font size is going to be small. And a line height. This is the difficult one. Probably large. And we'll create that style. Okay. So perfect. And then I guess we have small, default, and large. Because yeah, anything else then could go into like a heading style, but body slash large. And yeah, body, variable. Font size, large, and the line height. We'll go double XL, create style. Now, if we wanted to create variations of these, like if we wanted to do like the default small and large, if we wanted to create the like a bolden version of it, I think we just have to create another one, right? Like default bold. This needs to change here. Change it to 28. Line height. 28. That might almost be too much, but I'm just seeing the default here set to 24. I don't think we need to worry about that too much now, because again, a lot of this stuff is going to be bare bones. So we're not going to be doing a lot of funky things with our type. Right, so we have our typography. I think, yeah, let's create another collection. And we're just going to call this one layout. And this one is going to be number. We're going to just call this, let's see. How do we want to separate this? Just like your general layouts. I think maybe just general slash container. And then that's going to be 1,000. No. Let's change that. How do we delete? Yeah. We'll go. Yes, number. We'll do container slash. Because we can do a different size, right? Let's just call it desktop. And then we'll go 1,000. And then we can duplicate. We could go widescreen. Whatever the number is going to be, right? And then we could do, duplicate. And we could just do a mobile. And then just make it, smaller. Whatever. I'm not sure what we're going to use that for, so we're not going to make too many here because we don't really need to do that just quite yet. So that's layout. Oh, we want to do another one. Create another variable. And this one's also going to be number. We'll just say columns. And then maybe just 2. Or should we call it column width? Yeah, columns. Yeah. Because if it was 2 columns, it's 450. And this also depends on the size of the container element, but I don't think we need to worry about getting too complicated with this. 3 column. Again, I think 300 would be fine. And then duplicate 4 column, and that's 200. Oh, shoot. I didn't want this in there. I wanted this to be its own thing. Right. But now, actually, now that I'm doing that, I'm going to have to change all of these, aren't I? Right, I am. Because I'm going to have to apply this to basically this number of columns. Oh, that's annoying. Could be worse, I guess. Apply variable for I can select all of these, yeah, at the same time. Excuse me. I feel like that might not have worked. Yeah, this one's not working. Why is it not? Apply a variable. It's 3, 4. There we go. Okay, so that's obviously not good. There we go. Excellent. And let's go back to our local variables. Let's go back to typography and this layout. We could just delete these ones. Oh, shoot. We have to do the last one for container. Layout. Container desktop. So and it starts at number 24. Right. Okay. So we got them all selected. Apply variable. I mean, if we do this one, that's going to screw them all up. But we want it to be desktop. And why do they all have a border now? Did I click something? I did. There we go. Okay. So that's pretty good, I think, for our design system. And we don't have any, yeah, I mean, if we do we want to do like local styles? I mean, I don't think that's really, I mean, I guess we could do that here. That's kind of what that's all. That's kind of what that's all about, though, isn't it? So let me just see. It's kind of like the same thing. So if I have this as eyebrow, and I go here, and I said, it's kind of the same thing. It's just a style here. Oh, no, but then I can't. Well, I guess I could. Then how do I change the color? Yeah, I don't think it really works that way. All right. Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't work that way. Let's delete that. Okay. All right. So I think we have our style system down pretty good here. There might be a few issues we might run into in terms of like the width of the container and how we're gonna get around that. But other than that, I think it's pretty good, and I quite like it. We might just want to think about having the width a little bit wider, because if you look at the way that this image is for our layout one, let's go where can we actually see it here? All right, here. It might be better if it's, I don't know, just slightly wider. I don't know. It looks pretty good though. This looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Let me just maybe zoom into what the regular size is. Yeah, maybe a little bit bigger so you can see the buttons maybe a little bit more. But it does look pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, okay. Great. So our design system is ready to go. We can easily create a whole bunch of new layouts, and we're going to get to work on that, and just plow through and well, not plow through, but because again, we always want to make sure that we have good quality stuff, right? But we're going to get building a whole lot more components and get them fired up and released out there for everyone, and yeah, just getting ready for doing really good social media marketing and teaching and education once we have all of our components and pixel pieces is kind of ready to go. So right, so I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for tuning in. Much appreciated. Kevin, Leo, always great to see you guys in the stream, and everyone else that's watching this after the fact. Thank you so much. Very much appreciate it. As always, if you ever have any questions or whatever, comments, concerns, you want to tell me how good my stuff is or how bad it is, always looking for that feedback, positive, negative, what have you. Just leave me a comment, send me an email or whatever. Just get in touch with me. You probably know what to do. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for joining. As always, we'll be back here tomorrow with a brand new live stream. All right, take care.